Alright, welcome to video number 6. This isn't going to be very long as far as new content goes. I remembered I have school. This is my last semester of grad school, and I should really try to focus on that. Um, but I did get a couple things in that took a lot more work than it might look like, but it's good. It kind of helps bring the world together, and those little details are pretty important. Yeah, so everything's going to be the same here, but we'll come up to our little island here, and we now have trees. I think that's really cool. Like it's if I were to take some time and put some grass and flowers here, this would start to feel like a real zone. Um, it, it it took a lot of work. I mean, building one tree over here um, wasn't too bad. Got a few different inspirations. I made sure, when the player approaches it, they can kind of be under it here, kind of just like the house will follow the same thing. And from up front, they can go under. So in these cases where the trees are joined, you can start to go under there. And then these other clusters. So this part was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Maybe that's just kind of my fault for not doing enough art stuff in life. But getting these complicated clusters of trees. So instead of just a row, like what if we've got a whole forest going on? And so this will be cool. It'll help with like boundaries, so that my boundaries aren't always water, or I can have like water boundaries, or I can have cliff boundaries or tree boundaries. When I get the forest level, because you need to have that in these kind of games. Where we'll be able to build that out too, and that'll be pretty cool. So just kind of like a look into that, maybe, since that's the only real new content, but I thought it'd be cool to look into how we're doing some other things. So we'll come over here, open up Illustrator. So this is basically what I'm using for the tree connectors. So in the video, we see the corner piece here. That's just made by this one, and I flip it. Let's see if I've got an example of that. Yeah, so this piece right here where the 3 connect is right here, and we can do this across the top too, or over here, and if we have an angle where the top part is what juts out, we can do that here. Or if we've got a really long tree, this piece here, it exists inside of this, but just as kind of a patchwork. Yeah, and there's a look at some of those. Let's see. Let's take a look at this guy. So a lot of what I'm doing here is I have a grid object in Illustrator, and it's 256 by 256 is the base. So if we go back to the tree, like this is multiple put together. This big tree down here is 6 across the top and 3 more on the bottom, so it's probably 9. That might be another row in there I'm forgetting. Yeah, so I mean, all I do is I might get the eyedropper, and to get the color I want, and then we can paint the pixels in. Double click will fill in the gap. Triple click will get everything that's that color and make it whatever my selected color is. So there are some ways to make this go by pretty quick. But yeah, so I mean that's how it all kind of is coming together graphically, what we're doing to build things up. Let's see if there was anything else. Oh, never mind. Let's see. Yeah, and then just kind of the walking, like right now, each walking frame, this is idle, and then we alternate between these two. I'd like to get more walking frames there, but I don't have them yet. I've got this guy. Haven't decided what to do with him yet. Like maybe if you don't have a certain affinity that's much stronger than the other, it's like a neutral state. You can be this kind of grayed out color. I don't know yet. Maybe it's just something that exists. Yeah, and then something else that I think is kind of cool. So let's start this over again. I've got something I want to work on with this bad guy. Like right now, his states are a neutral state where he just wanders around, and then an attack state where he's seen the character and he makes an attempt to hit the character. I think it's going to be better to do like that neutral state where he wanders, and then a chase. So he sees really far, and when he sees the character, he just tries to move to get as close as he can to the character, or the player, I guess. And then when he's within his attack range, he'll do his attack. And a little idea of how that's working. So this is Unity. I'm drawing an array for what he can see going forward. And the idea is while he's moving, if he sees the player, he should attack. Sorry, I'm stuck over here. So when that array intersects with the player, he should lunge at me. Or maybe not. I had a problem getting my test debug ray to go. I think he is looking forward, but I wasn't drawing the ray correctly. Oh well. But yeah, so there's a ray cast. Everything can do that. I can look in a given direction and do some stuff with that. Yeah, and then we see, back here when I move the GUI, the hearts and everything are always staying in the same place. But we can see in this video here, they're just really attached to the player and the camera. So like the camera is always moving because it's attached to the player. And this canvas is always moving because it's attached to the players. So they're all relative to where the player is. So all the information is just kind of like moving around the world with him, but it doesn't have a collider on it, so nothing knows or cares that it interacts with it. Anyway, that's enough for this week. I'll try to get something cool done next week. Like I said, I've got school. Everything's supposed to be due within like a month. And right now would be like the worst time to flake out on that. So I'm going to focus on that and keep working on this when I've got the bug to do so. Thank you again for watching, and see you next week.